Hi everyone, I wanted to come and do a video because I don't see too many of these on YouTube. There's not a variety or a great market for them. However, I have a little home automation system set up myself. For instance, on my Technics K25s, I always have a 12-volt light on them. It kind of works as a peak system to let you know if the light is becoming illuminated that the speaker is receiving a great deal of power and could be at a possible risk of blowing. However, most Technics speakers do come with a protection system and a protection relay system built in. Those two speakers there is automatically built in and I don't have to reset them. It, does it itself. And what are these? These are some Surin Vegas L7s. They do work pretty good. Me personally, I like to use them as surround speakers if you do have a good amp. So those are currently my surround back speakers, or depending on if I switch it, it'll be my bi-amp. So these will be the highs, and then those will be the lows for your left and right channel. This here is a 1965-67 Magnavox console. The original amplifier built in just soon after I purchased it. The amplifier went out. One of the channels went out. However, the turntable still works good. The amplifier still powers up and it's still, somewhat fully functional, except it only outputs one channel mono. And that's not great. So what I do is I use the RCA output jacks, which would be originally for a cassette player, the record. It has a spot where you can input an aux. It has two RCA outputs and two RCA inputs, so you can use the auxiliary, such as Bluetooth, whatever it is you may want to use, and you can send the sound out, which is what I like to do. And then over here I have a little additional system wired into it where I use a 3-channel controller with relays, and as you can see, that turns on my lamps there. The second channel cuts on the wall sconces and feeds LED lamps into the night lights. The third channel turns on the table lamps. But let's get to the system over here. So recently I was doing a little exploration on 12-volt triggering. I have owned multiple receivers that, have the option for a 12-volt trigger, but I could never figure out how to get the thing to work or how to apply it to, my scenery. How do I take that information and, make it work to what I want it to work for? I do have a Fire Stick coming in. I do have a auxiliary HDMI cord for the game. This goes out to the TV. This is a 5-volt USB. It is used because I installed a fan. A lot of guys don't know this, or a lot of girls, whoever it may be. Install a fan for your receiver, because if you throw as many parties or you like to have the stereo on as much as I do, you can blow it out simply because it'll get hot or you may burn up other components within the system itself. So I do highly recommend installing a fan. My 12-volt trigger, I have it hooked up. I use one of these headphone stereo jacks, and it has red, green, black. And you only need the green for the ground, the black for, I'm guessing, the hot or the high, and maybe the red for the low. However, the relay I have on here only works on the high mode. So I'm going to plug that. I don't know if you guys can see. Well, it won't focus. There you go. I haven't figured out what quite to do with these two RR remote jacks. I will be learning something soon on how to apply that to my current system as well. Like I said, I do have two Technics, two Certain Vegas, which would be these over here. I don't have anything plugged into my zone because if you using a bi-amp, it's a relay that controls both of these, meaning you can't play one and play the other at the same time. So I don't really have any zone speakers at the moment. Center speaker, and then the two surround speakers are those speakers built into this console here. Let me give it a go and you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm very amused with this 12-volt trigger, something I just recently installed within the last hour. So when I turn on the system, it kicks on the relay for the night lights and the table lamps. These over here are powered by a PCU, and I just use a relay to turn the PCU on and off. Over here, I have a 12-volt relay. Those night lights run off 3 volt LEDs. So I have a PCU right here on the floor, and I'm using it to supply power to not only the remote, but as well as the LEDs. And I'm using the 12-volt signal coming in from the amplifier to, as you can see that little relay there, I'm using that signal to power the relay, so that once this amplifier comes on, it powers the relay, and then you can pretty much do whatever you want from that point on. And then I have that orange and brown wire goes into the console, which leads to this two-way switch, meaning you can run something. You could take 2 leads and run it to your left, center, or your right. Center meaning both. You'll be able to run left and right. It was used originally for external use of the speakers. I could have this knob on both, and the original amplifier would send power out to these speakers as well as external speakers. But since I disenlarged all of those main components and used it to my current situation, that knob now turns on the lamps. Leave any comments, questions. If you have anything you want to see, anything you're adventurous about, anything you don't know quite anything about, and we could both find out together, that'll work great. Maybe this could be a start of a brand new, channel where I make these type videos.